Hello everyone, this is Sarah, and today I'm going to show you some bullet journal pages you can create based on self-care. For the first page, I thought it would be nice to write out a quote. I just came across this on the internet and I really liked it. It's self-love is asking yourself what you need every day and then making sure that you receive it. I really like that it emphasizes that self-love means something different to everyone based on what they require at a given time to feel good about themselves. I think this quote will inspire me to check in with myself more often. I'm using my Stabilo pens to write out the quote in a couple of different fonts. I thought it would be fun to experiment with using multiple fonts. The top portion has hearts in the top left corner of every letter, which I think is really adorable. The other portions are just in my handwriting, but also I wanted to try doing some 3D block letters. They obviously need work, but it was still fun to try. For some of the thicker fonts and hearts around the page, I'm filling them in with a similarly colored mouth liner. For the block letters, I know it's hard to see, but I also went back with the blue Stabilo pen and put stripes in the shadow portions. For the next page, I'm going to write down some grounding exercises. As far as self-care goes, I think knowing a few ways to ground yourself are extremely important, whether you struggle with anxiety or not. You never know when you're just going to get overwhelmed or face a difficult situation, so it's good to practice grounding and find out what works for you best. I really like the idea of having this in my bullet journal because it gives me a place to come find these techniques easily when I need them or when I just want to practice them. It can be hard to know how to help yourself if you're really stressed out or panicking, so having a reference of things that you know are helpful to you during those times is something I highly suggest. Furthermore, if you're under that kind of stress, it might not be instinctive to look for grounding techniques either in your bullet journal or any other notebook, which is why it's also important to practice them on a regular basis before you really need them. Practicing grounding also just gives you a way to be more clear-minded and connected with reality, which is never a bad thing. It's a really nice way to practice mindfulness in your everyday life. But yeah, I just wrote down a few techniques bulleted by hearts for an easy reference. Some of them have additional instructions or ideas underneath as well. For the next page, I wanted to do a favorites page for ways to be kind to yourself or things that you need to make sure you provide for yourself on a regular basis. For me, this means things like positive affirmations, getting enough sleep and water, doing little things that make me feel good about myself, and so on. If I'm feeling drained or something, I can come to this page to make sure I'm doing what I need to do as well as get some inspiration on how I can give back to myself that day. I just kind of wrote everything I could think of scattered about the page, and then after I do that, I'm going to put each one in a little cloud, which I'm drawing with my mouth liner. The last page I'm going to create is just a monthly reflection page. I made one of these for July and I basically just filled it out on the last day of the month with everything I'd accomplished, things I noticed about myself or my life. Alright, well those are the self-care related pages that I have for you today. I hope these inspired you to incorporate some self-care pages and brainstorms in your bullet journal too. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more bullet journaling videos. See you next time!